Hello, and welcome to Critters Below. I'm going to be giving you a short overview. So, a great war has broken out, and they're bombing the out of everything. So, you've taken shelter below the military hospital or below the research facility. So what you'll be doing is you're going to be trying to survive, but you don't know for how long you have to survive, and you have limited resources, and the whole game starts with the lights going out in the bunker, so you don't know what anything is. Okay, let's have a quick overview of the components. We have some of the room cards over here. Here are item cards. You're going to be playing with these wonderful critters. We have our bat person and our badger over here. Sorry, that's a skunk. Here we have our damage cards. This is starvation, bleeding, poisoning, and radiation poisoning. Then we have our vigor, and also our healing cards over here. Now, to take a quick look around, we also have our event cards. These show you what kind of bombings are happening after during each round, and we're going to have one for each round, and these are going to tell us when we can win the game. During the game, you'll be receiving these damage cards either into your hand, and you can also get cards down on the table in front of you. Now, the item cards can be in basically in a few places. You will have some cards in the discard pile. We'll have some cards in front of us here on the shelf. This is a common area. And you also can have a maximum of 2 cards in your pockets. Then there's also cards in the storage area. During your turn, you will do 1 to 3 actions. An action always consists of flipping one of these item cards, or a room card, or your character ability. So it can be a card on the shelf, a card in your pockets, or it can be one of the rooms or your ability. How that works, and you have to do at least one of these, and at the most 3. So let's try flipping over this card. This is the storage card. Basically, when this happens, what you do is you need to draw 2 starvation cards into your hand, and you need to restock the shelf from the storage up to 5 cards. So now there are 3 cards here, I'm going to add 2. Basically every item card in the deck gives you starvation cards. The reason for this is that time is passing and you're getting hungrier. Next, I'll show you what the generator room does. Basically, you bicycle a bit, and that generates enough electricity to make the lights turn on again, and you get to look at all the cards. So that means you can look at the cards on the shelf and the cards in your pockets. So this basically means that I can have a look at these, and then I'm allowed to tell the other players what these are. So I could tell them, okay, this is a light source. This one I'm putting in my pocket just to be sure. I can say that this is a helmet. I can be as specific or vague as I want. I don't need to tell anything about any card that I don't want to talk about. And I can also put some cards on the bottom of the storage deck. I can do that freely at any time in my turn. Anyway, but I can also use some of these label cards to mark, to basically just to help us remember which card is which. So I told you this is a light source, so I'll just mark it with this light symbol here. These don't have any rules associated with them in the game. You can basically just put them anywhere you want during your turn. Now let's look at so I've already had 2 actions this turn. For this one I had to pull 3 starvation cards, so I have those in my hand. And the last action I'm going to take is going to be resting. So here I can rest. This means that I'm also going to get hungrier, 1 starvation, and I'm going to pull 2 vigor cards. So at the end, so I've already had 3 actions. You don't always have to take 3 actions. It's sometimes worth just taking 1 or 2. But you have to take at least 1. But at the end of each turn, you have to shuffle your own cards, and then with the help of the next player, you're going to flip 1. So if you flip a random card, and it's a starvation, or any other kind of damage card, that means that it's going to go out here in front of you. If you collect 3 of these damage cards in front of you, regardless of whether they're the same type or different or anything, that means that you're going to die. So you're going to be trying to avoid that. But when you flip one of these damage cards, you have to discard all the cards of the same color, which is makes it a little bit easier. But let's say that my next turn I can use these room cards again if I want, or I might not want to use them at all. Let's say I can also just flip one of these cards, regardless of whether I know what it does or not, and then just do what that says. So I could, for example, flip this card and use it, or I could do some other card. It doesn't really matter. Or I could use any of the cards on the shelf. Now, at the end of my turn, again, I will shuffle my cards, and from those cards, I'm going to, again, flip one of them. If they're a blue card, what happens is, I throw away all my blue cards, but I don't receive any damage. Now, it's also important to mention what these do. These are the healing cards. If I flip one of these, then that simply means that I get to heal one of the type damages from in front of me, which of any type I can get to choose. Now, that's how a turn works. Once we've each had our turn, at the end of the round, we're going to have a vote on whether we want to go outside. If we vote that we want to go outside, then that means that we get to, if we vote yes, we want to go outside, then we might get some damage into our hand. But if we receive less than 3 of these cards, then that means that we win the game. So, for example, now it's turn number 1. Now we know that there's been a nuke here. Then we might vote that we don't want to go outside. Then in turn number 2, we'll have 2 event cards lined up here, and maybe again we'll vote that we won't go outside again. Now, how do these cards work? The main point is that these can be either a nuke, a gas attack, or just normal bombing, or they can also be supply drop cards. And what these cards, and you get a little bit of a hint here on top what type of card it is, so you at least know something about the events outside. Now, I said in the second turn, again, if we vote that we don't want to go outside, then we move on to the third turn. Let's say now we vote that yes, we do want to go outside, then we get to flip all of these and have a look at them. Here we get to look, and then we need to apply the effects from this slanted row over here. That means that we will receive 3 poison cards, and we'll also receive a supply, and then we will also receive 2 radiation cards into our hands. We'll get this each. Now, if we would have received less than 3 of these cards, we would win the game because, well, that's all clear or almost clear. So, in this case, since we received more than 2 of these cards, we have to continue the game. Now, if we, for instance, in the 4th turn vote that we don't want to go outside, but then go outside, vote that we do want to go outside on the 5th turn, then we'll again have a look at these cards. Here, for example, in the 5th turn, the gas attack of the 3rd turn only affects us by giving us 1 card, and the bombing from the last event only gives us 1 bleeding, so that results in us getting only 2 of these cards, which means that we've won the game. So, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you got a quick overview, and thanks for watching.
Woo! One shot.